Welcome back, folks, to the live streams coming from the exhibition trade show floor here at APPEX 2024 that are brought to you by Burkett, where innovation meets inspiration. Whether it's optimizing processes, enhancing sustainability, or simply delving into the fascinating world of fluid dynamics, Burkett is your trusted partner every step of the way, and it's thanks to them that Kim Berry is here once again for the Kim and Grant Variety Hour. Hopefully this session will both stay on track a little better. Too late, I've already taken us offline, haven't I?
Statler and Waldorf.
Oh, totally.
Yeah. Yes, it's the afternoon of day one.
I know, and we're already collapsing.
It's not great. But anyway, we'll get there in the end.
As long as
but
you're having
this
fun.
this is exciting. So joining us on our live podcast is Nathan Wardell. He is the Managing Director of Packserv Australia. We love Packserv because Australian manufacturing, designed here, built here, just totally for the Australian market. They know exactly what Australian food and beverage manufacturers need and want, and they're there to deliver it. And then they're also there to go the next step of like, have you thought about this? And I believe that's what we have over on your stand. Is that correct, Nathan?
It is.
Tell us about this amazing machine.
It's built as part of a joint partnership with UTS, who are working with our crew to build the digital platform, which is the brains behind the machine that runs it. And we're also working with one of our technology partners, SMC, and we've gotten the latest electronic actuators out of Japan and bolted it all together into this amazing machine that should do over 100 units a minute and should cater to that next tier of the market in terms of not just food and beverage, but FMCG manufacturers generally.
Of course, because it does liquids, but it also does lotions and other, across the spectrum of liquids, I guess.
Yeah, wet products. It's for putting wet stuff into bottles.
I keep getting distracted by the intro for Burkett, and we talk about fluid
dynamics.
Fluid dynamics.
Yes.
I love that. I just imagine water dancing in pipes. But anyway, it's probably clear that I'm not an engineer.
Well, it is interesting, and wet products do have personality. They have behavioural tendencies, and when you're working with different fluids, they behave differently, and they like to do different things.
So who's in the market for this? Who's it targeted to?
I suppose over, and I've been doing this now nearly 28 years, and I think in the time that I've been working in the industry, what we've seen is a lot of the industry sort of looking for that next tier of equipment. So there's quite a bit around. It'll do that 10 units a minute, 20 units a minute. Right. And then there's this other end of the spectrum, which is largely unavailable to most of the market. And that is that high speed range or higher speed range that appeals to that larger enterprise. And there's a lot of players internationally that do that quite well. And we're not really trying to compete with that end of the spectrum, but there's this massive gap in between, and that is FMCG manufacturers locally and internationally that do need to do more than that bottles per minute. And so trying to get upwards of that, 60 to 100 units a minute, maybe even 120, 130 unit a minute mark, which is getting more into that mid to large scale enterprise. Yeah. And that's largely uncatered for, certainly locally. And so we set about designing and building a packaging line that was digital for one, so that we could incorporate some AI and some Industry 4.0, make the machines talk to each other. And that's sort of what we've constructed and brought to the show, which is our new high-speed filler, which does cater to the requirements of that FMCG manufacturer that's looking for that next tier. Trying to, I think most FMCG products are manufactured by SMEs. More than half anyway.
Yeah.
In terms of
well,
FMCG
I was going
products.
to say that I know, within food and beverage, the vast bulk of the industry is SMEs, and so it's really filling that gap for them. That that the high end stuff is just price point and size,
Largely
and everything else is largely unavailable. But Yep. I must say that your stand, it looks sensational.
Thank you. We took a lot of work to put together, building all of that machinery. I think we've brought 34 machines with us to the show. So quite a few different pieces of technology on display, a lot of new designs, a lot of new features, but definitely the center stage is occupied by this 8-head twin lane high-speed filler that we've constructed.
Wow, it sounds fantastic. tell me, just give us a little bit of a, the elevator pitch of Packserv and who, your market and what you do.
Yeah, sure. It's a diverse business. As I said, I've been doing this for 28 years. Packserv's 17 now, but we have short and long-term hire. We have outright purchase. We do a rent to buy. We've got some finance options as well. Basically, we are doing everything that we can to support onshore FMCG manufacturing, and we've been a strong supporter of Australian-made and Australian-owned and manufactured onshore. So we're not importing and reselling. We're not distributing really. There's a couple of pieces of machinery that are difficult to get hold of, but for the most part, most of the machinery that we sell and hire is manufactured in Marrickville in our facility.
Right. It's just fantastic. Thank you for joining us today. I'm going to come over and have a proper look at the new, I can't believe the new piece of equipment, but also the fact you have all of those other pieces of equipment here as well. I knew the stand was big, but sheesh.
That's pretty epic.
It is epic.
Thanks.
I think you were saying it was sort of 12 months in the making. 12
months in the making. That's the joint project that we've been running with UTS.
Oh,
so
right.
while we've been doing the engineering and making all the wet parts and the frame, and UTS have been designing and building the digital platform that sits underneath it. Makes it talk to other machines, and should be able to see some real gains in terms of supporting our customer base just with remote monitoring and digital support, remote adjustments, maintenance, those sorts of things.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, it's fantastic. I love onshore manufacturing, Grant. What can I say?
I agree. It's something we need because supply lines are great, just in time's great, but once you cut that supply line, oops, it all falls apart. So it's good to have it onshore.
Yeah,
absolutely. I was just on panel this morning talking about introducing more sustainable materials and sustainable packaging, and it's all well and good if you've got a quality piece of machine. You can hopefully just make some adjustments to it, put a few settings into it, and adapt it to suit different packaging. But in a lot of cases, you actually need additional parts. You might even need to send the machine back to the manufacturer. So if it wasn't manufactured onshore, you do get a little bit stuck if you want to make dramatic changes to your finished goods.
Yeah.
So being an onshore manufacturer means we've got our own engineering facilities. We've got CAD/CAM. We've got a team of engineers. We can make all of our own parts, do our own designs, and Wi-Fi them out to CNC machines and actually cut metal right in a factory in Marrickville. So
love it. Love it.
Indeed. But we should probably wrap it up.
We should probably wrap it up.
Cool.
Well, thanks so much for having us, guys. It's a pleasure to see you.
Yeah, lovely to see you in person.
Great to be back again at another show.
I know. It's huge, isn't it?
Yeah.
Massive. All right.
Well, thank you, Nathan. Thank you, Kim. And of course, thanks to everyone who's tuned in for this live stream. We'll be back with another in the not too distant future. I think probably closer to 2:30 at this stage is the next scheduled one.
I see. That's not me, so I'm not paying any attention to that.
I know, but it might give me a chance to go walk about and see 10% before I have to come back.
Well, everyone who is actually at the show or in Melbourne needs to come on down for the International Packaging Press Association Organisations Industry Forum this afternoon. It starts at 2.
With Kim Berry.
And I am hosting a panel with some really leading industry experts when it comes to sustainable packaging from Arnott's and Mondelez and SPC. And Lindy will be leading us as she does with a number of, her panels and interviews. And Wayne, our editor of Print 21, will be there too. So
amazing.
Here's me chained to the production desk. So with that
That's
in mind, and the shameless plugs out of the way, we're going to call it on this one, and we'll be back probably closer to 2:30. Thanks to everyone. Stay tuned. We'll be back shortly.